Hello and welcome again. This is Lino Tadros. And in this video, we're going to use OpenAI, not Azure OpenAI, with Semantic Kernel. And mainly what I wanted to show you in that specific video is not to use the hard-coded values for the API keys and the endpoint and the deployment name and so on. Let's do it right, which is it should be on a completely different outside file. I'm not going to even do it 100% correct, which is key vault and stuff like that, but it needs to be an outside JSON file, for instance, or a .env file like we do in Python. Let's go ahead and see what Semantic Kernel has built in that will allow me to load a configuration from the outside and use it inside of the model calling initiation as well. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, I am back in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to close all that stuff up. I need to create a brand new project as well so we can keep it clean so that when you get the code, it's self-contained in every single project. We'll say, let's create a new project. We'll do a console app, and this time will be 02-OpenAI demo. How about that? Sounds good? Go for it. We'll put it in that folder, in that solution, and from that point on, we should be in good shape. There is my OpenAI demo. I'm going to do the same trick I did before. Instead of having to do all the .NET Nougat packages for Semantic Kernel, I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to use only Semantic Kernel. That's the only one. And instead of 63, I'm going to put 64. I'm not going to even bring in the Azure OpenAI. The OpenAI itself can be taken care of with the Semantic Kernel just by itself, so there is no other ones. These other two, these are very important in case I'm going to have a file, for instance, in my project in .NET, something like appsettings.json, whatever I'm going to be putting that code is. But remember, there are other Microsoft extension configurations. There is one for JSON, there is one for user secrets, there is one for environment variables. So depending on how you're going to do it, you can actually bring in the correct namespaces or the correct NuGet packages that you want. I'm only going to do app settings, but remember there are more. There is one for the .NET user secrets and one for environment variables and vault, and it can get very complicated. We will get to that point, I promise. But for right now, I'm only interested in the app settings one. So these are more than enough for me. We'll say Control S. Once you do a Control S to save, these will trigger right away. And if there is any errors, if I put 165, for instance, which doesn't exist at this point here in time, you will get an error saying I was not able to bring in that NuGet packages as well. All right, let's go ahead and create our app settings. Let's click on the folder itself, O2OpenAI demo. We'll say, let's create a new file. We'll call it appsettings.json. Okay, make sure, oh, that's not gonna work because I misspelled it, settings. There you go, and push enter. All right, and inside of this guy, it could be a root elements for the API key and the model ID that you want to use it, but I always like to put in a key value first for which model I'm going against. Because when you have like 20 or 30 different demos that you're doing, you won't remember for which model that is. So the way I usually like to do it is like this. Create a key called OpenAI, all right? And then open the object for OpenAI, pass the API key, and the model ID that I want to use it from inside of there as well. Make sense? We'll say Control S. Of course, I'm going to have to go open up my platform.openai.com, create a new key, and get the whole thing working for me this way. But we will get to that in a minute. For right now, we need to go to the program.cs, and we need to bring in the same exact code we've written before in the previous example, the O1 startup. Nothing is going to change. I'm just going to not hard code the values inside of there. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and cheat a little bit. We'll click on the O1 startup. We'll go to the program.cs, Control A, Control C, and now I'm going to go to my program C for the second program, Control A, Control V, and this is exactly the same code that I had before. The only thing is I do not want to load it that way. That is not good. Alrighty, so we'll delete all that stuff from here. So now I need to find a way to pass in the deployment name, endpoint, and API key, except this is not an Azure OpenAI. This is a straight OpenAI. So I'm going to use the word, remove the word Azure from there, and that has a completely different way of setting this. That means it doesn't even need an endpoint. Endpoint is only for Azure, but for OpenAI, we don't need an endpoint. So I'm going to delete this from here as well. All right, now let's go back all the way to the top in here, and I'm going to bring in a few lines of code to bring in the configuration builder. So notice there is an I configuration config equals new configuration builder. and you set the base path, which is the current directory. That's because app settings in the same root directory in here where the project is available. And then I'm going to add JSON file. Again, you have access to that because I added that in the NuGet package for JSON. Give it the name of the file, which is appsettings.json. Optional could be true. I usually like to put it to false. It's not optional. You have to load it from appsettings.json, and if it doesn't exist, don't keep going. That's an error right away. And then reload on change. If something changes while the application is running, it will be listening in on that file. And if something changes, it will go get the new API key or the new model that you want to use or whatever that is needed. Make sense? All right. Of course, we need to get rid of these red lines. So I need to bring in the namespace, and here we'll say using Microsoft extension configuration. That is all good now. And the only thing left for me, of course, I need to delete all of these. I need to pass them coming in from the config file. So this one will be config, which is the variable that I created. There is config right there. And notice now we can use the array to bring in the API key and the model ID. Both of them can be brought in from right there. Actually, the code completion is wrong. This is not really the best way to do this. So in here, I'm going to say there is my array, and in here we'll say open with an O, OpenAI colon, and I called it model ID. It has to be spelled correctly, otherwise it will have no clue what we're talking about. And now we're going to put a comma after the bracket for the array, and then we'll do a config again. And let's see if this will work in here. There you go. All right. So I'm going to have the OpenAI model ID, and you have to go check, make sure that the capital M and capital I, same thing with the capital A and capital K inside of the app settings. If that's not the case, it will not work. Just remember that, okay? Now, of course, there is the nullable thing, so I can actually come in here and put an exclamation point here for the nullable so that we can be good citizens for C# as well. So you Control S for this. And let's see, is there anything else we need to do? Actually, I don't think so. None of the code changes. Even though that code was written for Azure OpenAI, and now I'm not using Azure OpenAI, I'm using only OpenAI. I'm getting the configuration from an appsettings.json, which is okay. It's definitely better than what we had before, but it's still not the best way to do it. Sometimes putting in an environment variables that will be put in Azure later on, or the best way to do it is as a key vault. Put all your secrets, at least the API key is a secret, in the key vault, and then with a couple of lines of code, you can load it from there. And we will do that in a future video as well. Very easy to do, but it's the right way to do it for production as well. All right, the only thing left is let's go ahead and open up platform.openai.com. I'm going to create a brand new secret key. We'll call this, for instance, YouTube. There we go. We will use that as a default project. That's fine. We'll say create a secret. That will be the last time you'll see that secret. So make sure you put it somewhere. So I'm going to say copy this guy, and we'll say done. Alrighty. And now we'll go ahead and minimize this guy. And now I'm going to go back to my app settings, and in the API key, I'm going to go ahead and paste it right there. And again, it's okay for you to see it. By the time this video has been in production and available, I would have actually deleted that key, so it's no big deal, but it's important for you to see how that stuff works. And the only thing left is the model ID. Again, there is no endpoint. Remember, the endpoint for OpenAI will always be the same from OpenAI. Only for Azure OpenAI, you have to tell it what's the specific Azure OpenAI endpoint is. And in here, this could be, I would say GPT 4.0 or 4.1 or 5.0 or mini, whatever you want, okay? So I'm going to be putting in here, we'll say Control S. We'll use 4.1. Remember, for the GPT 4.1, yeah, that's correct. Just to have to make sure you put the correct dash and dot, all right? Don't mix them up. Otherwise, it will not know what that is, gives you an error. And again, I don't have 4.1 actually deployed maybe in Azure, but I have it available through the OpenAI itself, and that's what I'm doing in here. Okay, let's go ahead and do a Control S. We're good with that. Let's go ahead and run this and see if now I can get exactly the same answers, but now from 4.1 using OpenAI, no Azure OpenAI. All right, I'm going to come in here. We'll say, let's go into the second folder. There it is. We'll do a CLS to clean, and we'll say .NET run. Okay, drums rolling. We should be asked for a question here in a second. All right, I'll say why the sky is blue. We'll push enter. Notice the streaming is going to come in. We are still pirates, so at some point I need to remove that pirate thing already. But there is the full message again in green, plus the streaming that happened before, 28 tokens, 128 came back, 211 is the total, push enter, and you're out of there. So it definitely worked. Let me go ahead and remove pirate from here. So we'll say helpful assistant, okay? So we can get in English in the future to make this work better. All right, hopefully the I configuration for the configuration builder makes sense. How did we use that and made it work? Remember, you can add a JSON file. You can come after this line and add another one, say add JSON file again, but this time you can say appsettings.development.json. So you can have two, one during release, one during development, that will use a completely different settings if you want for testing and so on. But you'll have to add two add JSON files, one for the regular production and one for the development as well. Then you can have another one that says add environment variables. There is another one called add user secrets. For .NET, you can add that to the project as well, so nobody can see them except in the project itself when it will be encrypted and so on. All of that stuff is definitely possible using the configuration builder inside of Semantic Kernel as well. Make sense? All right, I hope that you will be able to click on like and subscribe, and I can't wait to show you the next video. Thank you.